Hi, this is Carmel. I'm the Crazy Cricut Lady, and I'm here to talk to you about making stencil fonts. First of all, why would you want a stencil font? Well, let me show you something. We'll put a square on here, make it nice and big, because I've got quite a few examples to show you. And we'll make it pink, because I hate working with that color. Let's say you want to take this font and cut it out of paper. Select both of them and slice. This works because each letter does not have a center cut out of it. Whereas if you were going to cut this font out, and we're just going to hide that for right now because we don't want that. If y'all look at it, the center of the A and the centers of the P are completely cut out, so they'll disappear. You'll just have blank holes in there. I think I can show you what that is like if you went to contour. You would lose this hole and this hole and this hole. You would end up with that. And that's not what we want. So, I'm going to show you how to decide what is a stencil font, and also how to make stencil fonts out of any font you want. There's some you wouldn't want to, but you can make a stencil font out of almost any font. Now, as you can see, both of these are stencil fonts. They have no open spaces. You can see on the A's and the P's that everything connects. And when you cut this one out, and we're going to slice this one, you end up with every little piece. It doesn't cut out that center and leave you hanging there. There's a line to the center, so therefore you don't lose that spot. We're going to call up this one, the one that we were using. How do you make this a stencil font? Well, first we're going to make it great big, and I do suggest you do that when you do this technique. You get a square, unlock it, and make a very, very thin line. Now, there's several ways you can do this, and I'm going to show you all of them. The first one is to make a very thin, and I mean very thin, line. Put it through the center and slice it. And as you can see, it cut the A. And now it is a stencil letter. And you can line it up where you want, exactly against the line or in the middle or anywhere you want. Let me show you that again. We're going to do all of the letters. And I'm going to create a bunch of these lines because we're going to use a lot of them today. We're going to do the P, so you can line it up so that it's right up against that line, and slice it. And see, stencil font. And we'll do the last P just to make sure it's all there. And I like the look of it right up against the line, so we're going to put it there and slice it. And we'll get rid of these. Okay, so now move these out of our way. I'm not going to delete them because we need them. But if we would shrink this back down to normal and cut this out of our big pink square, we would no longer lose any of the parts because they're joined by the line. Now I wonder if you have a handwriting font. this one. Let me show you the other way you can do this. You can do it the other direction. Unlock it, and we'll make it very thin this way. And when you do it this way, you have to make sure that it goes through all of the letters. All of the center parts of the letters and all of the letters. And it slices it, and you just take it out of there. And you see it creates the gap, the connection to the center. You can then slice it out of that one, and ta-da, you don't lose any centers. Now there are some fonts that are more difficult, and we'll pull up this one. This is a very beautiful font. I use it a lot. It's called Folk Art Festival. I use it and cut it out and use the cutout pieces. But you could make this a stencil font. To make this a stencil font, however, you would have to cut through this part of the letter. Okay. And as you can see, that sort of ruins the letter. But you would have to go through every single letter and do that. And the Y would be particularly difficult because you'd have to turn it and slant it so that it went along that line. And I would never use this way. That's just a font that is better not made into a stencil font. But you could if you really wanted to. We've moved the big square front and center. You may have noticed this little font down here in the bottom. And I didn't talk about that font. That's because there is no way I can figure out how to cut that so that it works as a stencil font. Let me show you. When you go to the contour, down here you lose all sorts of pieces if you cut it there at the bottom. If you cut it across the middle, you lose just as many pieces. So I edited and cut that alphabet out of the video because it's just impossible to do. So there are some that are impossible. That explains why you need stencil fonts, how to make stencil fonts out of almost any font. I'm Carmel. I'm the Crazy Cricut Lady. And if you have any questions, you can reach me at blog@crazycricutlady.com. This has been another episode of Design Space. There's nothing to be scared of.